as T was saying here, the first thing I'm going to do is just give you a quick intro to what I do and what I feel like my role in God's kingdom is. The focus of what I do, the core of what I do, is financial educating, financial coaching, financial guidance. But the finances are just a tool to fulfill the overall purpose that I feel like I have in God's kingdom, and that is to help people. Excuse me, speaking right after I eat. And that is to help people find and live the greatest version of their life through an all-around health and wealth kind of lifestyle. Okay. Don's talking about holistic wellness, and as you might imagine, I have a lot of relationships and partnerships with people in the holistic wellness arena because I feel like your finances do the same thing. Physical health, mental health, emotional health, spiritual health, relationship health, financial health. They all need to be a part of it. And your financial health affects everything else in such a profound way. The number one cause for divorce in this country, finances. One of the leading causes of illness is stress, right? What causes stress? Money problems, right? So if you can be financially healthy, you can be physically healthier. And there are studies galore out there about how people that are financially stable and financially free live longer and healthier lives. Right? Physically healthier, mentally healthier, your relationships are better, and it goes on and on. But before I come back to that core topic of financial health, right, and some thoughts about how you can execute that, and what I do to help people do that, I wanted to go off script here a little bit. Is that okay? Can I do that? Go off script a little bit? I had something that was placed on my heart. It's been a year for me where I have needed encouragement. We're entrepreneurs, right?
Right.
Yep. Right? So occasionally that's going to happen. I'm 6 years into this thing, and this was a tough year from a business perspective. So I have needed encouragement. Partly from the influence of our wonderful leader over here, Mr. Way, I felt like my primary responsibility today was to come in here and offer some encouragement. Who knows where you're at, what you might need, what you're struggling with inside that maybe you're not sharing?
Yes.
Maybe I have something here that can give you just a little bit of inspiration, right? Just a little bit of encouragement. So I'm going to share with you a few thoughts that have kept me on focus this year and through any time that I've struggled, really. That have really helped me. So, number one, we need a crystal clear vision of where we're going. If you don't have a picture of where you're going, you're never going to get there. Yeah. It's like trying to build a 5,000-piece puzzle without seeing the box. Right. Right? Yes. You can work at that thing for weeks and months, and you're never going to finish it. Right? When you wake up in 10, 20, 30 years, and don't say if, say when. When you wake up in 10, 20, 30 years, and you've accomplished everything you set out to accomplish. You have had the impact in your life, in your community, in the world around you that you set out to have. What does that life look like? Right? Where are you? What are you doing? What's your impact? What's your, what are you doing in your life? What does your life look like? What does your business look like? Have that clarity, right? And then once you've identified that, have a plan, right? Create a plan towards that vision. All the way down to having daily and weekly activities, tasks, that will take you one step, 1% closer to that vision of your future. And it's not just being busy, it's things that actually matter in your business, right? Things that are actually moving you forward. Your daily activities will compound to your future destiny. Right? Your daily activities are like money compounding, right? There's a time lag, and don't get frustrated if a year goes by, 5 years goes by, 10 years goes by, and you're not where you want to be. if you're doing the right things each and every day, what you do today determines who you will be in the future. But you have to stick with it. Have faith that you're doing the right thing. God made people in his own image, right? He made us to do wonderful, powerful things. Faith the size of a mustard seed, a man can move a mountain, right? So have faith. Pray that you're doing the right things and do them day after day after day after day after day. You're going to end up somewhere, right? It may as well be where you want to be. So then know that it's not going to go according to plan. Right? Once you have your plan, know that it's not going to go according to plan. Oh, sorry. One thing that I heard a few years ago that has stuck with me through times of struggle, and I shared this with Al a couple months ago. We have this idea, right, of what success looks like and where we want to go and who we want to be, right? And it's inside of our own time frame. And oftentimes, our time frame does not match God's time frame.
Yeah, that's true.
Now, we've got this idea in our head of what, enormous success would look like. But God's up there looking at our plans and thinking to himself, my idea of success for you dwarfs your own idea of success. So we're down here struggling, we're stumbling, we're falling down, we're trying to pull ourselves back up. Sometimes we're just trying to get through one day and the next day and the next day. We feel like we're not moving anywhere. But God has the big vision. He has the big picture. He knows where we're going. He has rewards for us in store that we can't even imagine. But he also knows we need to learn certain things along the way for us to be prepared to receive those rewards. So all this stuff we're going through right now, all the struggles, are preparing us to be able to make the most of what God actually does have in store for us. And just know that you can't control your results, especially as an entrepreneur, right? You're not just punching in and collecting a paycheck, right? You can't control your results, especially in the short term. But there are 3 A's that you can control. You can control your attitude, your mindset. Do you have grit? Will you persevere, right? Will you keep marching on? When God sent out his disciples, he told them, go one door to the next door to the next door. The doors that refuse to let you in, wipe the dust off your feet and move on, right? You can control your attitude. You can control your associations. You strengthen that attitude with the people you put around you. Surround yourself with people that are going to push you forward, that will encourage you. Read the right things, right? Listen to the right things. Constant. All those things go into the associations you put around yourself. And then you control your activity. Going back to that plan, right? You control what you get up and you do every single day, right? To push you forward to the next level. 2 Corinthians 9:6 says, whoever sows sparingly will also reap sparingly, but whoever sows abundantly will also reap abundantly. So be abundant in your activities. Be abundant in your gratitude, right? That mindset of abundance. When your own cup is overflowing and you just want to share it with others, regardless of where you actually are, right? You give and you give and you give, it will come back, right? But those who are constantly just trying to fill up their own cup, they're never actually going to fill it up, right? So now as you build, remember the parable of the talents. We must be responsible stewards of what God has placed in our care, and then he will bless us with more, right? The talent that took the servant that took the talent, the one talent, and buried it, right? And didn't do anything with it. God took it away.
Isn't that amazing?
So go out and be responsible stewards, right? So now we're going to actually get a little bit to the meat of financial freedom here. So I tell all my new clients and all my new associates that come on board and come into our training program, the first book you need to go read is The Richest Man in Babylon. It's a 200-page fictional story set in ancient day Babylon about a man who starts his career as an everyday tradesman with a lean purse, and he eventually becomes the richest man in Babylon. And he basically sits down, like people come to him, hey, how did you do it, right? Did you steal? Did you cheat, right? And he sits them down and he teaches them 7 cures for a lean purse. Today we can talk about these 7 principles of financial freedom. And that word principle is important. That principle is a universal truth, like integrity, honesty, etc. It's not something you do. These 7 principles has withstood the test of time. This book was written in 1926, and here 91 years later, these still apply. If you practice these 7 principles, you too can become financially free, independently wealthy. So what are they, right? And what can you do? Number 1, well, and first of all, that chart of the United States there. The reason this stuff is so important is because our schools just don't teach financial responsibility. There are 5 states, the ones I highlighted there in blue, that actually require even 1/2 a year, 1/2 year of personal finance in high school.
Brenda, got something to teach your kids. That is incredible.
It's
incredible statistic.
only 5 states. And that, I've spoken to a lot of people who went to high school in Virginia, obviously, and they're like, wait, we had a financial education in high school? Right? So,
That's amazing.
if schools are not teaching it, who is? You think your credit card company is teaching financial responsibility?
And the other 45 states are open market.
They don't really have any financial requirement. They don't have any requirement to teach financial education. So the school system is failing our youth in that they are not teaching on one of the most important aspects of our time, just being a responsible adult, right? And that has led to a lot of things in this country. 46% of this country cannot come up with $400 if they needed it.
How many?
46% could not come up with $400 in the event of an emergency.